Okay, so again, we're going to look at how to convert units in our customary system, and again with multi-step real-world problems. So I always want to have out my stuff to help me. So I have my converting units of measurement anchor chart, which is glued into my interactive math notebook because it's super awesome. And I have two important things that are going to help me with my conversions. I know best soccer mom is when I'm going from a bigger unit, like gallons, into a smaller unit, like cups. And when I'm going from big soccer mom, big to small, I'm going to multiply. In the reverse, I have silly babies dancing. So when I'm going from a smaller unit, like inches, into a larger unit, like feet, I'm going big, small. I'm going to divide silly babies dancing. So just a quick little review. I also have out my reference sheet to help me along the way. Again, with my reference sheet, the measurements on the left are my larger units of measurement, and the ones on the right are my smaller. So if I'm going from left to right in my conversion, I'm going from a bigger to a smaller. And again, best soccer mom, I will multiply. If I end up having to start here and go over, then that's where I'm going to be dividing. I'm going from a smaller to a bigger, silly babies dancing. So just a couple little quick housekeeping tips to help us be successful today. So let's look at this question on customary length. And I like this question because it has multiplication with decimals, which is from our prior unit. And so this will also help review that skill as well. Jordan walks 6 3/10 miles on the treadmill each week. He has already run 6,897 yards this week. How many more yards does Jordan have left to run this week? Okay, so again, I always want to review what I've kind of identified as important. So I know 6 3/10 miles is how much he needs to run, and I know he's already ran 6,897 yards. So I'm just going to note that this is miles and this is yards, and we talked about how we cannot add or subtract unlike units of measurement. Pointing out to my question, it says how many more, and how many more is leading to the fact that I'm going to end up needing to subtract. How many more yards does Jordan have left? And again, subtraction. So before I can do anything with that subtraction, I need to have these in like units of measurement. So do I do miles? Do I do yards? And again, I'm going to point you to your answer choices. They're all in yards, so you need to convert the 6 3/10 miles into yards. So again, this is where that reference sheet is super critical and important. When I'm looking at my reference sheet, I need to go from miles, and I'm going from miles to yards. Now, I'm going to just point it out because you're going to have that distractor on there, that if you are going from miles to feet, you are going to get an answer that's going to probably be on your test. It's not going to be the correct answer because they know some people will make that error and they deliberately make it that way. So I need to make sure that I'm going from miles to yards. So 1,760. And again, I'm going from a bigger to a smaller. Best soccer mom, I'm going to be multiplying. So when I'm multiplying, I now know that I have 6.3 miles. And I want to figure out what is the equivalent in terms of yards. And so in order to do that, I'm going to multiply. I also know that 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. And again, I know that from just looking at my reference sheet. So on a separate sheet, in this case, I'm going to use my whiteboard. I'm going to take my 1,760 yards per mile. Again, I put the larger number on top with the most digits, and now I'm going to multiply it by the number of miles I have, which is 6 3/10. Now, just a reminder, when we are multiplying by decimals, we need to not to forget to place that decimal at the bottom. So when I'm multiplying this is 10 to the power of 0 because I have no decimal, so I have 0 digits after my decimal. This one is going to be 10 to the power of 1 because I have 1 digit after my decimal, so I need to move it one place value to make it a whole number. So when I place my answer, I should have a total of 1 digit after my decimal. So that's just a quick review of a prior skill that hopefully we should all remember. And so now I'm just going to go through double digit multiplication, no problem. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 6 is 18, so I'm going to drop my 8 and regroup my 1. 3 times 7 is 21, but I can't forget about that one up top, so now I have 22. Regroup my 2. 3 times 1 but plus that 2 is 5. Now I've only represented the first digit. I need to move over. Now again, I'm going to treat this like it's in my tens place because I'm going to do a power of 1. So I need to drop that 0 to show that I'm in my tens place. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 6 is 36. I'm going to group my 3. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus your 3 is 45. I'm going to group my 4. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 4 more gives you 10. And now I'm just going to add up my digits. So 0 plus 0. 8 plus 0. 2 and 6. Oh, look at that, cute. 5 and 5. We're grouping my 1, and now I have 11,000. Oh, well, I forgot to tell you why I put the decimal there. Because powers of 10, it tells me that I need to put my decimal at the end, like it's a whole number, and move it over 1 time. So I would drop my 0, and I would drop my decimal since there's nothing represented in that place. That's how I got the 11,088. Now, I just took my miles, and I converted them into yards. So this is how many yards I have. This is the measurement I converted to. Now I'm going to take that and go back to my word problem. So I know that 6.3, 6 3/10 miles is equivalent to 11,088 yards. And that's how much he needs to walk all together each week. But he's already done some. He's already done 6,897. So if I subtract the total amount he needs to do from the amount he's already done, that is going to answer my question, how many more yards does Jordan have left to walk? So I'm going to go right on back here. Since I already have my work there, just keep it all in the same place. And again, I'm going to subtract the amount that he's already ran, which is 6,897. Again, making sure your place value lines up. If it does not, you will probably end up with marking a distractor on there. They do expect for place values to be in the wrong spot. 8 plus 7 is going to give me 15. 8 plus 1 is 9, and I know 9 plus 9 is 18. 8 plus 1 is 9. Uh-oh, made an error. Sorry. I'd make a new video, but not going to happen. 8 minus 7 is 1. Should have done subtraction now if you've caught on. 8 minus 7 is 1. I can't do 8 minus 9, so I need to go borrow. There's nothing to borrow. Since there's nothing to borrow, I'm going to go here and make that a 0. Go here. This is going to become a 10, but I have to borrow from it, so now it's a 9. And this is 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. And again, I made this a 9, so 9 minus 8 is 1. And now I'm here, 10 minus 6 is 4. So when I subtracted that, I see that he has still left to run 4,191. And again, my unit was in terms of yards. So going back to my question, do I have that answer? Yes, I do. Uh-oh. And there it is, B.